You get achy wrists and hands, you're in the right place. Welcome to our 5-minute intermediate wrist and hand follow along. Today we're working mostly strength rather than range of movement. So if you'd prefer that, check out our beginner follow along in the description. We're going to use a resistance band to help us today. This one's green purely because the background is red, so it'll be easier for you to see. They come in all shapes and sizes, from super thin to super thick. Today we're going to need mostly the super thin stuff. Some of the exercises I'm going to use with the band around belly button height. Now, if you don't have an upright like a rig or anything like that, you can set this around your door handle. There's not going to be a huge amount of force going through it, so you're not going to do it any harm. But first, we're going to start things off putting 5 minutes on the clock and do some wrist circles. Just interlock those fingers and let's do some circles. Now, as we're going around, I tend to get a little bit lost, but that way I get both directions, so that's all good. You can do the same, get in both directions, one way, then the other. All right. So with our band at belly button height, we're going to start things off with some straight arm wrist exercises. So arm down by your side and locked. We're going to lift the thumb up towards your face. So you're working the front of the forearm here, keeping that elbow nice and locked. We'll do the same on the other side. Through this follow along, we're not going to do too many reps, like 5 to 10, something like that. If you find any of the exercises challenge you more, feel free to go back and spend a little bit more time on those. Same but opposite, arms nice and locked. We're going to try and lift that little finger up towards the back of the shoulder. Nice thing about these straight arm exercises is we're really isolating that forearm and making sure the wrist is getting supported by all the right stuff. All right. Same with our arms down by our side and elbows straight. Band is in the palm. We're going to lift that palm up towards your face. Really work on this big part of the forearm that you see. I'm going to say mine's nice and big. I wish I had big forearms. That would be great. All right, other side. You might even feel a little bit of the bicep here, depending on how much resistance you have in the band. As with any band exercise, the further away you are this way, the more resistance there's going to be. The closer in, the less. Yes. Totally distracted myself there. Arms straight. I'm going to lift the knuckle up towards you. We're starting things off here with our straight arm. We're only really getting about 90 degrees worth of load here. We're going to circle back, change arms, and do these same exercises with a bent arm. That's going to give us more range of movement, maybe close to 180 degrees. But the main thing is that we're moving under resistance. That's how we build the strength. Great stuff. Okay, let's unattach your band. That's us done from waist height for now. And we're going to focus in on a single strand. So here, I've got the little fingers close to each other, palms facing up, elbows bent at the side. I'm going to twist so that the band is stretched as I rotate those hands away from each other. It can be super tricky to keep the elbows pinned here. They almost want to like flare out. We're trying to keep them in tight. And then we'll swap it over. So this time it's on the thumbs. Grip it and then twist the thumbs away from each other. I find my shoulders want to lift up here as I do this, so we're trying to keep them down as we go. All right, we're going to circle back and do most of those exercises again, but with our bent arm. Before we do, let's just stretch out those fingers. All I'm doing here is trying to make as much space between my fingertips as I can, so I'm really working them as far apart as is humanly possible. It's almost painful, but it's just because we're creating that space. And then we're going to make a nice fist. So one of my favorite things to do at a desk, if I've been doing a lot of typing, is just get that big stretch, really stretch those fingers. So you're using your muscles to pull them apart and then squeeze them back together. All right, let's circle back to the start. This time, we're going to stand. Ooh. Stand on that band. So we're going to bend those elbows, bring the forearms to about parallel with the floor, and we're going to start with some circles. There's a lot of movement here as we go round, and we're moving under quite a lot of tension. Try and get both directions as we go. Nice. Really cool. All right. This time, we're going to hold the forearm in position. So we're just dropping the little finger to the floor, lifting that thumb up towards the face. Just getting that yaw movement as we go. Beautiful. Same again, but this time the band is in the palms. We're going to drop the knuckles to the floor and pull them on up. Really working to keep those forearms parallel to the floor. And then we'll do the opposite. Dropping the palms, lifting the knuckles. Very cool, very cool. All right, almost there. Just going to finish off with those wrist twists again. So palms are facing up, big squeeze, elbows at the side, and then rotate those forearms. So some of these, we're moving our wrists through a range of movement. Other ones like this, we're almost holding the wrist in isometric. We'll do the opposite. And we're using the muscles that support the wrist. A bit like our core strength principles. Alrighty, and that's us. Thanks once again for joining me for our intermediate follow along. If you want to check out our advanced follow along, make sure you subscribe so you're notified when it comes out.